Welcome to Heathen's Garage. Welcome to Heathen's Garage. Welcome to Heathen's Garage. We're fixing the Jeep again. So for those of you wondering what actually happened, it was this decided not to be on its home anymore, and that's all there was to it. I did move the radiator, so I shouldn't really be surprised. Also, it appeared to be not very tight, so I don't know how we made it through miles of mayhem between this being cut off crooked and also not tight, but for some reason it didn't let go till now. So me and cousin Trevor, we're gonna fix this, fill it up with water, then we'll drive around to the barn and see what other damage we can cause, because we got a pile of work to do and not that much time left. Okay, we're getting 4% into the raid. Yeah, there we go, here we go. Now we're going well. You might think I should be using a funnel, but what I'm actually doing is cleaning the front of the engine at the same time. That's accomplishing two things at once. Who's foolish now? But yeah, I could have used those, I suppose. Well, now that we got it full of water, we are actually gonna just drive around for a minute, because like everybody that was expecting me to drive it last time got ripped off, including me, because we made it 300 feet and blew a hose off. And I won't lie, I kind of left in a little bit of a temper tantrum kind of mood, so I haven't touched it for a month. So now we're gonna fire it up and we'll just drive around for a couple minutes, at least till everything's hot and hard to work on. Change of plans, we're gonna just boost the battery quick, because apparently I left every switch on that I could have. Now see, we'll boost your cables. You hook that one to that one, that one to that one, and you just run them over here and hook that one to that one and that one to that one, and that's basic boostering. We're gonna give it a few minutes. The old Holla EFI does not like to be low on voltage, so we're gonna let it charge for quite a while before I try and crank her over. So I guess we'll do something else for a while.
So I tried a new mic for this part, and we'll just say it didn't work at all. So you're just gonna have to imagine the sounds that 2.5 liter all-wheel drive turbo Volvo's making.
Fun and games is concluded. I guess we'll try and start it again. Let's take it for a drive. You coming?
Yeah, sure.
Are you gonna get in?
Yeah, right after we disconnect the battery.
Yeah, there's that, isn't there?
Yeah, we're gonna run it over.
Well, things happen. It starts, and it starts good. This mic could be a problem. Alright. This seat needs to be a lot taller.
Right.
Because I'm in a race car.
Yeah.
I'm also not centered. I'm way over to the door. This is awful. Oh, I have no mirrors. I forgot about that.
Race cars aren't supposed to have mirrors.
But it's like drag and drive car. It needs to have mirrors. a little bit of boost on the gauge. I feel like that's not working properly. I can't tell if it's making any boost either.
Folks, that's the face of a man who's unimpressed but too polite to say so.
Smells really rich, doesn't it?
It does.
It's quite hard to drive quickly with the seat the way it is. It's not very confidence inspiring to go around corners. Sounds good. It's starting to stink really bad. I think we better park this thing. It smells like ATF and also poop. Why does it smell so strong of ATF? I'll blow a line. Well, the first thing I want to do is fix the seat and route the exhaust out of the engine bay so that you can breathe while driving. And then we'll figure it out from there. So I pulled out this material and started cutting metal and, you know, getting ready to build some custom seat mounts. And Cousin Trevor, he looked at my old seat and grabbed the tape measure and measured up the new seat, and he said, you know, like, you could just bolt your old mounts back on. And I was like, no, you can't. They're not, you can't, like, they're welded. You can't, it can't be done. And he's like, no, they look like you could just bolt them in. And then I wandered over and we drug the seat out, and oh yeah, they do bolt on right. Yeah, but they'll never be right. Clearances and stuff. And he's like, no, like, they look pretty similar. And that hole lines up there, and that hole lines up there. And like, basically I was about to do a bunch of work for nothing. And that's why, if you've got the option for assistance from someone who might be smarter than you, it's not. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't go that far. Well, yeah, but arguably I just saved about 2 hours because he's here, so that's pretty sweet. Looking forward to that now. Yeah, so they bolt right on with no modification whatsoever required. Now we're gonna see if they fit back into the Jeep this way.
It'll work.
Alright.
You got the welder out too?
Well, I was planning on doing welding.
You were really getting into it.
Well, I thought I had to build mounts and seats and things.
Here, I'll hold the door for you.
Wonder if it'll be offset approximately correct.
That is gonna be perfect.
It's gonna be perfect.
Yeah, well. Had I taken that bet, you probably would have won, because that's on its appropriate mounts right there. And it's got tilt, so
We need that.
don't tell me what to do. It's a little race car, like a. No, this is fine. I can work with this.
Center?
Yep. That was a zipper check. Just see if your zipper's in line with the horn button.
There you go.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Looks like it was meant to be.
Like it's awful to get out of. We're gonna bolt the seat in, and that's like a big step just taken care of in a quarter of the time it was supposed to, so that's pretty ideal. Well, it's the next day. After we got the seat bolted in, we saved so much time that it seemed like a good opportunity to, you know, take an afternoon off and not work. So now we're gonna put some exhaust on this Jeep. I think you guys have seen me do enough exhaust on this that I don't feel inclined to film very much of it. So I'm just gonna sort of make the pipe go from here to over there and down and back, and that's all we're doing. But like, you've seen enough of me struggling with a flux core welder and, you know, sticking things together, so we're just gonna do this quick. It's windy as can be, and I sort of need to do most of it inside, but the Jeep has to stay outside, so we're gonna be wandering in and out quite a bit. While we're wandering in, there's another project that we should look at, and it's also related heavily to Miles of Mayhem. You guys have met Buddy Kyle that time that I had a hernia and needed to put an engine back in. Tell me about your 6 liter, Kyle.
It was the cheapest 6 liter on Facebook Marketplace. The guy said it used as much oil as gas, about 5 liters oil every 1,000 K. But the price was right. It was $400 and it was as worn as he said it was. On disassembly, the pistons fell out. And upon reassembly, the rings were perfectly gapped. Going together with a BTR red hot cam and a stock bottom end with a bunch of ring gap.
What's the specs on the cam?
221, 240 something, 619, 617. But I actually bought it because it has a picture of a chili pepper on the camshaft. So it made a neat noise, and that was the inspiration for it.
So your short block is basically together, eh?
Pretty much.
You said you're gonna aim for 650 horse?
Well, I'm just gonna aim for as much as fuel and the transmission will take.
I
It's
think
probably like 500.
Yeah, well, you'll have enough fuel for 1,000. I think your transmission will be done at 5.
9's in the 8th. That's what I want. 9's in the 8th at over 6,000 pounds.
So the thing about a Gen 4 LS is they have that DOD whatever stuff. There's a bunch of holes in the top that are for oil, and you need to plug those somehow. Kyle has a good trick for that.
So the internet told me that this fine tapered roller bearing has the insides are the right thing for the inside of that. So if we rip this apart real carefully, they should all fall on the floor. We might have a couple to jam in the motor. So you can spend $20 on the right part, or you can order this bearing online for $5. So I guess we'll see if they fall through.
That's pretty mint, actually. I would. Yep.
That's plugged.
I'd call that sealed.
I don't think those are going nowhere.
So you got oil pan on, you got pickup tube on, you got lifter trays in, and now you have cut 2 pieces of pipe. Morning. It's the next day. Kyle's making a ton of headway on his engine, getting it together. He's gonna work on heads and cool stuff today. And I am still working on exhaust. So this is what we've got so far. We had some bends, and then we made a bunch of fancy pie cuts, which I've never done before. And if I'm honest, I don't think I'll ever do it again because they take a long time, but they're kind of neat looking, and you get exactly the angle you want if you do it right, which I didn't every time, but that's okay. Anyways, it's just about out of the engine bay, and that'll be ideal. That's your update. Like, I'm still just building exhaust, so hold tight for something more interesting. Well, it's breakfast and a couple hours later, and this is sort of welded up and ready to go back in its home. So that's progress, I guess. Doesn't feel like fast progress. Well, that's still warm. Don't touch that part, Heathen. It's still warm. Ignore the giant exhaust leak from the header gasket that I said was gonna leak. Are you doing anything more interesting than me, Kyle?
I don't know, it looks like heads are ready to go on.
I like your studs.
The finest.
Yeah?
The finest that eBay has to offer. The Chinese ARPs.
Oh, they're like BRPs.
CRPs.
Yeah, maybe C's.
Chinese
maybe CRPs.
Republic product. Yeah. Okay, now everybody's going to look at this and say, oh, everything's still dirty. I just remember, it's junk. It's a junk motor. It's put together with a few good things and a lot of really bad things.
Wouldn't matter if you were putting together perfectly. The internet still want to crucify you over it. Hey, look at all your studs are straight. That's a bonus. Didn't have to fight with any of them.
Well, that's what happens when you buy the best on the bay.
Best on the bay. I'm not gonna lie, it's easily as clean as the engine that I put together for that 3/4 ton.
Well,
and it still has lots of oil pressure. That's so pretty. These springs, those are Michigan Motorsports?
no, they're Brian Tooley racing ones.
Okay. I like that they're shiny.
I know, that's what I thought. All the other ones were black. I was like, ooh,
jealous of
chrome?
So since, it's raining and I was sad and bored of what we were doing, we elected to go for a drive and see if the thing makes the PSIs a boost. I don't know if it will. We drove it around the dirt track yesterday, and we didn't have a long enough stretch to really see what it does. So we're just going to buzz her down the gravel and see if the gauge says anything and if it makes noises. Watch me back right into your avalanche.
That's okay, that side's been hit.
Oh, okay, good.
That's the corner to hit.
That makes it okay then, as long as it's been hit before.
Yeah.
Okay, so the wastegate, the 3 PSI spring is all that was in it. I think it's gonna be really good by 7 pounds. Like if that's only 3, it feels pretty not bad.
Oh, that's perfect.
Oh yeah, well there's all that header tape, right? That hasn't really ever gotten hot enough to burn off yet. We'll spin her around and go home. That's enough. You can definitely tell there's no sway bar anymore. And I forgot how loose the front end was. Like it's really... Especially for having no back window, it's getting smoky in here.
Pulling it in.
Yeah.
Oh, your exhaust doesn't go back there though.
No, it doesn't. I think it easily spools as fast as the Dakota did.
That's perfect, and you don't got to shift it.
Yeah, well, and that wasn't kicked down, like that was just laying into it in whatever third gear it is. I think it's gonna be pretty good. I'd call that successful.
I'd say so.
This is gonna be ready to go racing this weekend.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it's just assembly oil smoking off. Judge from the smell, I'd say it's header tape. Whew. I expect it'll do that a few more times. Oh yeah, it's just pouring off the headers down there, or the pipes. Just got fresh paint and header tape on it. That'll be fine. So we have returned from our little test drive, and well, you saw it. You were there. I'm quite happy with it. Like we know now what my wastegate springs meant, and we have a 3-pound one in there, and that's, you know, for testing purposes, that is perfectly adequate with me. We'll put another one in tomorrow or the next day. Meanwhile, Kyle pretty much has a long block together, and that's pretty cool. Now this is the good part of the engine, where like it looks like an engine again, but Kyle has like a surprise to make it look way better.
Do a little temporary mock-up.
Yeah. I think I need one of these.
I think you need one of these too.
Like, it's a funny idea to put your exhaust out the front.
That's gonna take up a lot of space in the engine bay.
Oh yeah, you're gonna lose some. Especially once you have a hood stack right here.
No hood stacks.
No hood stacks.
10mm wrench.
Should at least snug the two that are holding a bunch of weight. There's one thing about this cool manifold that Buddy built. It's pretty sturdy.
Yeah.
And bolts can hold a surprising amount of weight.
The only thing I'm worried about is the aluminum in the head. So,
Well, there is that, I suppose.
like that was
It's not little, is it?
No.
Have you had it out of its package?
No.
Open gonna pull off. You really did go for it on this, didn't you?
Well,
like there was no messing around with a GT45.
It was the biggest and the cheapest. Cheapest and the biggest.
It's really big. Need to rotate it so the people can see. Like it's huge. That's a S what?
S475 with a T6.
That's a lot of turbocharging. Does that make you guy happy?
And scared all at the same time.
It's so huge, you can't even get it and the engine in the frame hardly. That's a pretty big turbo coil.
Hopefully it's big enough.
Yeah, it will be. I think that'll be big enough. Folks, this right here is a turbo avalanche project. He's gonna haul his family to Miles of Mayhem in it. It's gonna be in the background of likely many of the future videos here at Heathen's Garage, so you got something to look forward to there. Folks, it's probably been a weird episode, jumping around and doing stuff, but that's just, you know, we're doing Miles Mayhem prep, and that's how it's going to be for the next little while, because, like, we're all hands on deck trying to get this one and the Turbo Avalanche project done, so, you know, like, that's just how it's going to be. Thanks for watching. Bye.